Statistics show that 57% of Vietnamese users are starting to move away from products and services that have adverse impacts on the environment and society. As such, prioritizing sustainable and green growth is crucial for the continued development of e-commerce.
Cái sự cạnh tranh khốc liệt giữa các cái trên thị trường thương mại điện tử nói riêng như các thị trường khác ấy, thì họ đang tiến dần tới là không chỉ là cạnh tranh về giá mà là họ cạnh tranh về cái giá trị bền vững của cái dịch vụ cũng như là của cái doanh nghiệp. 4 cái yếu tố chính mà trong cái bản báo cáo gần đây thì chúng tôi có phát triển, đó là gì? Phát triển kinh doanh bền vững, phát triển hạ tầng bền vững, phát triển nguồn lực, nhân lực số chất lượng cao, và cuối cùng đó là phát triển và ứng dụng công nghệ vào việc nâng cao trải nghiệm khách hàng.
The impressive and steady growth of Vietnam's digital economy in recent years is partly due to the explosion of the e-commerce sector when it accounts for more than 60% of Vietnam's digital economy. Out of the $23 billion value of Vietnam's digital economy in 2022, up to $14 billion came from the e-commerce sector.
Nền kinh tế số thì nó bộc lộ ra bên ngoài chính là sức mua, cầu tiêu dùng của hoạt động thương mại điện tử đã biểu hiện rất là rõ qua cái tổng mức bán lẻ điện tử của chúng ta là tăng trưởng rất là tốt. Và chính vì vậy thì nền thương mại điện tử Việt Nam sẽ tác động đến các doanh nghiệp làm có một cái sức ép để thúc đẩy họ còn chuyển đổi số nhanh hơn nữa để tận dụng được các cái cơ hội tăng trưởng và khả năng mở rộng quy mô của thương mại điện tử. Và như vậy thì nó sẽ tiếp tục làm động lực cho cái quá trình chuyển đổi số tại Việt Nam và dẫn dắt nền kinh tế số của Việt Nam trong thời gian tới sẽ tăng trưởng mạnh mẽ.
Sustainable e-commerce is gradually becoming a driving force for economic growth and digital economy development in Vietnam. It promotes fast and efficient digital transformation of businesses, at the same time improve digital skills and strongly develop digital consumption of people nationwide.
E-commerce is forecast to account for 65% of the value of Vietnam's digital economy by 2025. However, in order to post further achievements, sustainable development is an inevitable trend. So what factors should Vietnam further improve to develop a sustainable e-commerce market?
There was an initial phase in which the market was growing and the players were really focused on capturing that market share. And rightly so, they were using incentives, also because you needed to persuade a cohort of customers to come online and transact online for the first time. To make the space more sustainable, and this is what the players are already doing now, is scaling back on those incentives. Now that they realize that the customers love the online experience, they're willing to buy more frequently and more, and they don't have to be incentivized as much. On the other side, there's also a number of more sophisticated product and offering that this e-commerce platform can provide to their merchants, for example, to advertise their business, to help them on the logistics, to help them on inventory. And that will further help the unit economics of the e-commerce platform, which will continue to move from loss-making to profit-making. And once they are obviously in the profit-making, once they're making profits, is obviously a much more sustainable and stable e-commerce landscape and will continue to thrive going forward. I think also ESG and sustainability, which is a very important trend. I think there's a lot that online commerce can do to play their part. Think about optimizing logistics to lower emissions. Think about, which by the way are already lower than typical offline commerce, but they can be lowered even more. And think about packaging and recycling, right? So the idea of actually not receiving all of the packages from your online sales, but can you actually return them to the platform so that they can be used? And there's a lot of work that can be done on waste on that side.
How can sustainable development in e-commerce provide a driving force for the digital economy in Vietnam in the coming years?
Economy per se is very interlinked. Think about, I'll give you a concrete example. Buying goods online as a consumer will open up your experience to online or digital payments, whether it's e-wallets or the likes. At the same time, and payments is another vertical, obviously, of the digital economy. A second vertical that it would be opened up to you as you experience more and more e-commerce shopping is digital lending. We have a flourishment of, for example, buy now, pay later offering. And that is another vertical that is part of the digital economy. So you see how, starting from an online purchase of a product, you've now unlocked digital payment, you've then unlocked digital lending to finance that. And then you see how, the 65% is really signaling how e-commerce is a cornerstone for a lot of these use cases to happen. And then obviously then the sector to flourish. I think it will continue to grow in the slightly lower than historical, especially because of the slowdown for the next maybe 12 to 24 months. But it will pick back up and go back to a historical trend of 25+% growth afterwards.
Well, thank you so much for doing the interview.